Right guys, welcome back to another episode of Nick's Veggie Patch. So since I uploaded the last video, lots happened down here at Nick's Veggie Patch in my garden. We have finished off, or the wife has finished off building this raised bed, and we're now filling it with compost. We brought big bulk bag of compost from big company, and today going to be planting out lots of vegetables and plants ready to go in there. So yeah, it's taken a couple of weeks or more to build this. It's in the shape of the letter E, which means we'll be able to get in into where these little square into where these little walkways are. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a metal mesh around it to stop my cats and anything else getting in it. But yeah, there's lots to go out, guys, today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on, put a bit more compost in this bed and start planting stuff out. So I'll come back to you guys in a little while. Okay, so I've got all the tomatoes out now. Put them up alongside bamboo canes so they'll climb up the bamboo canes. Cut off some of the runners, and in between them I've planted nasturtiums to stop any sort of bugs and insects that prey on all the vegetables. They'll go for the nasturtiums. In the far corner there, as you can see, I've planted a variety of Brussels sprouts, and I've put copper mesh around them to stop anything like the slugs and the snails. And there I've planted a variety of winter squash. So I sowed 6 seeds, 5 germinated, and then tomorrow what I'll do is we're going to fill this with the remaining compost that we've got in the big bag, and then I'm going to plant some other bits and pieces out from the greenhouse that I've sown that are ready to go out. So the Bunyards Express broad beans, there is some squash and some melons up there. The only things I won't plant out yet are these sweet corn, let them get a bit bigger. My wife has potted on my broccoli because it needed potting on, and then it's just got these nasturtiums to go out. And I'm giving a friend of mine 3 of the Brussels sprouts plants that are left over, because I planted 9 out, had 12, planted 9 out, and I'll give 3 to a friend of mine. So yeah, it's still coming on nicely in here. There's a few more things that I'm going to be sowing, maybe tomorrow or maybe in the week, mainly runner beans and stuff. But yeah, it's coming on really well in here, guys, and out there. Okay guys, so this evening, while it's still light and beautifully sunny, blue sky still, I'm going to be planting a few more bits out in our new raised bed. So I've got some compost still left over from what we purchased to fill this up, but I was also given a bag of compost for nothing. So I'm going to stick the bag of compost I was given for nothing straight in here, and then what's going to go in the next bit, sorry for the shadows, but what's going to go in the next bit along here, I'm going to be putting out 2 different varieties of sweet corn. Wow, yeah, two different varieties of sweet corn. I'm not really worried about the variety or where they're going to go together because they're good. They're going to be the good size sweet corn. And then at some point I've got some baby sweet corn that are going to be going over here, around here somewhere, just so we don't confuse them with the normal sweet corn. I've also got some broad beans to go out. I've got some other different varieties of squash to go out at some point, and some melons. And then when they're big enough, I've got some broccoli to go out that the wife potted on for me over the weekend. So yeah, I'm just going to fill this sort of section of the raised bed here with the bag of compost, or however much it'll cover, and then if I have to, bring in some more from the bag we've got outside in our front garden. But yeah, there's obviously lots to kind of go out, and I'll show you quickly what I'll probably be putting out in a moment, and I'll show you that in the greenhouse. Okay guys, so on the fourth shelf up, you can see the two varieties of sweet corn that I'm going to be putting out, and then along with some of the squash here and the melons that are pretty much ready to go out. There's also some kale coming up in that one as well, and then down below I've got some celery to go out, and at the very bottom you can just make out there the broad beans. Lots of nasturtiums on the top there to go out, and then just in the corner here you can make out the baby sweet corn. Next to it obviously is the broccoli that the wife potted on. So yeah, there's quite a few things to go out, and what I'll do is I'll start cracking on, get these few bits out, and I'll come back to you guys in a minute. Okay, so I've got the broad beans out, and I've put some nasturtiums with them. So I've propped them up, and hopefully they should start growing up because they're really good size, and hopefully we get some really good broad beans this year. Okay, so it's just a quick overview at the moment, guys. So along my back fence there, as you can see, to the left in the first raised planter, got some beautiful rainbow chard growing there. It's really lovely. We've been having it for tea over the last few weeks. Then in the two raised planters next to the chard, I've got cabbages growing, doing really, really nicely. As you can see, this is the raised bed the wife built, and there's lots of stuff being planted out in here now and coming up. And once we've got the last of the compost in, there'll be other things filling up this raised bed, and then that will be it until other raised beds become available. So for instance, possibly once the chard has come to an end, I'll get something else in there, but obviously making sure I've got something in the greenhouse ready to go out. So for those of you who don't know what that terminology is, it's called succession planting. So where you've put something into one raised bed, and then once that is coming to an end, you fill it with something else you've got ready in your greenhouse. So you're utilizing that raised bed to the maximum. So yeah, once the chard comes to an end, there'll be stuff going in there, I'm pretty sure of that. Same with my raised bed that's got the raised planter that's got the garlic in. As soon as the garlic is finished, I'll just give that a little bit of a rake over with the tiny little rake I've got, and I'll get something in that. So I'm utilising every raised bed in Nick's Veggie Patch, and we're going to have lots of vegetables that we can ourselves, say, kind of blanch, freeze, ready to use throughout the year, but also if we have excess, give stuff to friends and family. So I'll just quickly show you some of the other parts of the garden and what's growing, and yeah, that'll be the overview of Nick's Veggie Patch. So just come to this section of the garden. This is tiny little patio that's got the greenhouse on it as well. So in the very back where you can see the green raised planter, the metal one, that's got onions. They aren't far really from being ready. The thing to watch for onions is when you start to see a bulb forming on the onions, that means it's gonna start to flower. Just take that off, you don't want that to happen. In the raised planter by the greenhouse, that's got another variety of onions, and also it's got some parsnips, only to have come up. I think they're parsnips. That's what I sowed in there. It looks like they're coming up. So we'll see what happens. In the small plastic raised planter there, that's got some kale, as you can see, some lovely delicious kale that we've been having. We just basically wash our kale, take off the stalk, and then I put it on a small oven tray, tiny bit of oil, and then I add like smoked paprika, some garlic powder, garlic salt, bit of black pepper, and I just mix it together and I roast it in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. Comes out absolutely wonderful. It's lovely. Then just down here I've got some cauliflowers and one more cabbage, as you can see. That's really taking shape. And then in these planters here, I've got lots and lots of first early potatoes, and they should be ready in June. And then just to pan you round and show you just down here, I'll take you down here. I've got 3 raised planters here that have got main cropping. I'm hoping they will come up. They haven't come up as of yet, but I'm hoping they will do at some point. So yeah, there's 3 here with main crop potatoes in. I ran out of space at the time to put them, so I utilize these 3 great big planters, and hopefully, you know, we'll get something in them. I'm not expecting loads, but fingers crossed we'll get a fair bit. But yeah, generally guys, that is an overview of what's happening down here in Nick's Veggie Patch.